Hey, how's it going, guys? JP back at you once again, bringing you guys episode number 4 in my entire DVD and Blu-ray collection, the 2015 version. So let's start right away with an Echo Bridge home entertainment release, and that is The Boneyard and the 6 Degrees of Helter Skelter. The Boneyard was kind of interesting. These are Discovery Channel type documentaries. It was about two killers who would kidnap girls, torture them, record themselves torturing them, things like that. I found it interesting because I had never heard of these serial killers before. The 6 Degrees of Helter Skelter, obviously based on the Manson family. Charles Manson's one of the most documented and popular serial killers out there, so it was kind of just a bunch of information that I already knew. It was kind of interesting seeing them revisit the historic places of the Manson family. But besides that, nothing too great there. I do like these serial killer documentaries, even if they are put out by Echo Bridge. After that, we have The Boogeyman and Return of the Boogeyman. I actually know nothing about these films, but I want to check them out eventually. I just don't know if they're worth checking out or kind of just waiting until I don't have anything else to watch. So if you guys know out there, let me know. After that, we have Boogeyman, which I believe is a in-name only remake, so I guess it's not a remake at all. I could be wrong. This movie is very, very awful, all over the place, convoluted, annoying. The beginning 5 minutes was like pretty solid, and then it's straight downhill, just a terrible time. I really didn't like this one. I even reviewed it on the 22 Shots a while back. I believe Moods did say that the sequels are okay though, so maybe I'll give those a shot, but I will probably never rewatch this. After that, we have another disappointment, and that is The Box. Whew, this one was very disappointing. Super high concept, awesome concept. Man shows up at your door with a box that has a button in it. Push the button, it kills somebody on the planet, but you get $1 million or something like that. Super cool concept. I believe it was a Twilight Zone episode or something like that. Just super poor execution, over stylized, very annoying, kind of pretentious. Just was not a fan of this film at all. Really wasted potential there. It's a shame, really is. So after that, we have Brotherhood of the Wolf. And this is a film that I have not seen yet. It actually is in my collection for a reason that I do not know. I believe I got this in a contest or something, because I don't know where I got it from at all, and I don't know what it's about. Maybe I'll check it out, maybe I won't. I probably will eventually, but just not at the top of my to-watch stack. Unless one of you out there tell me like, hey, you've been sitting on that film for so long and it's amazing, what the hell's wrong with you? But that's probably not the case. Anyway, after that we have Bug, which is a 1975 killer cockroach film. Cockroaches that explode. I remember grabbing this super cheap at like an FYE and really having fun with it. It was a little slow. I do remember it dragging a bit, but I just love my insect horror films. I actually want to revisit this one again one day because it was pretty fun, even though it was a little slow. I would like to see what I thought of it now, because that was probably like 5 years ago the last time I watched it. So yeah, Bug. After that, we have Bug, and this is actually a different Bug. This Bug I didn't even order. I ordered another film, which you'll see in a second, and Go Hastings accidentally sent me this one. I called, complained, they gave me my money back, things like that. Told me to keep this one, so I said what the hell, and I watched it anyway. This is not a film about killer insects. It's actually one of the best examples of insanity that I've ever seen captured on screen. The acting was phenomenal. This film was truly amazing, truly a surprise. It takes a big left turn. There's a specific moment where you just are kind of in awe and shock. I mean, I could go on and on. This film is amazing. I was so happy watching this one. Just a huge surprise. I highly recommend this one. It's one of the best films that I've ever seen, to be honest. I loved it that much, and Anybody who has not seen this, it's not really a horror film, but it does get kind of horrific. So check it out if you haven't. You can get it pretty cheap. And wow, I was super impressed by that film. And this was the film that I was actually trying to get, and that is Bugs. This is a sci-fi essential. This was back when sci-fi was not S-Y-F-Y, when it was actually, sci-fi. Man, Sci-Fi Channel used to be really cool. They actually put a little effort into their films back in the day. Of course, there's some bad CGI and stuff in this one, but it's, scorpion-type giant bugs down in a subway system. It was just fun, It's an average film, probably like a 5 out of 10, but it's a little better than you would probably expect. This is back when I used to actually look forward to the sci-fi originals. Now they're just completely ridiculous and stupid. And, they might have been like that back then, but it was a different style because they were trying to make it decent. And I just found those ones to be more entertaining. After that, we have The Bunker, which is a Nazi zombie film, I believe. Paid like $4 for it at FYE. Still haven't watched it. Not really sure if it's worth it, but I do love some Nazi zombies, and I love, any type of war horror film or anything like that. So I'll probably give it a shot sooner or later. It could be pretty awesome. It could not be. Who really knows? After that, we actually have a 3-pack here, and it is the Tom Hanks 3 Hilarious Movies collection. I obviously got this for The Burbs. It also includes The Money Pit and Dragnet. Not sure about those other two, but The Burbs is really, really cool. One of my favorite films from, Joe Dante and the 80s, Tom Hanks, all that stuff. Just really super cool here. I need to revisit The Burbs because it's been a while. The Burbs is truly some fun stuff. After that, we have Buried Alive. This was a Dimension Extreme. Tobin Bell. I remember this one being pretty average. Don't remember a whole lot about it, but I remember when I did watch it, I found it mildly entertaining, so maybe check it out. After that, we have a more recent pickup, and that is Burnt Offerings. Kino actually just announced a Blu-ray of this. I've never seen this film, but I've heard very, very good things. I picked this up super, super cheap on DVD from a used video store. So I will give it a shot sooner or later. I was actually going to watch it 2 nights ago and ended up, watching something else. So I'll give it a shot sooner or later. After that, we have The Burrowers. And this one was really cool. This is a kind of along the lines of like a Tremors creature feature, but it's set in the Old West. I just love Western horror films. They don't make enough of them. I need to go out there and see more of them. But this one was really cool. I remember grabbing this for $5 at Walmart and just being like, wow, that was a lot of fun. I mean, it's not overly amazing or anything, but it's a cool movie. Definitely check it out if you haven't. After that, we have The Butterfly Effect, which is probably one of my favorite thrillers. This was an awesome movie. I remember when it first came out on DVD, I was at my cousin's house, and she either rented it or somebody brought it over. I can't really remember, but I was just super into it. I watched it immediately right after, and immediately right after again. I just loved the concept of it. Time travel done in an interesting way. Great ending. Just super cool stuff here. I really like The Butterfly Effect. Definitely a great movie. After that, we have Cabin Fever, one of the films to get me back into horror, because there was a certain time when I was a kid where that's all I wanted to do was watch horror movies. Then around the time that Cabin Fever came out, I was kind of not watching horror films. And then I finally seen it, maybe a year or two later on DVD, and it really got me back into loving horror. I rediscovered that love for horror, and it was because of Cabin Fever. Why? I don't know. It was just something different that I hadn't seen before. It was kind of the same setup as the films that we've seen before, but it was just, there was something gross and different about it that I didn't remember seeing at the time. So Cabin Fever, definitely always will love that film. After that, we have A Cadaver Christmas. This was a lot of fun, actually. I forget the guy who made this film, but I think he has a podcast that I heard before. Just a cool, fun Christmas zombie film. Super low budget. It's a comedy, but it's definitely fun. I had a good time with this one, and you can grab it super cheap. It's like $5, so definitely give it a shot. Cool poster there. A lot of fun. After that, we have Caged Terror. This one looks pretty awful. It's Echo Bridge Home Entertainment. I've never heard anything about it, and it doesn't even sound good. So that's probably like at the bottom of my 100+ films that I haven't seen yet in my collection. After that, we have Candyman. You know, this edition has always bugged me because I bought this used and it had some water damage, but I only paid like $3 for it. But it's just driven me insane. So I'm hoping that one day this gets a proper special awesome edition on Blu-ray, because this really is one of my favorite films from the 90s. It's a super poetic and super awesome film. I would love to see it in Blu-ray with, you know, great sound, stuff like that. Candyman, I just feel like the more that I watch it, the more that I loved it. Cabrini Green, Chicago, just this foreboding mood and atmosphere. I just love it. I love it. Candyman is great stuff. I kind of want to watch it right now after talking about it. Then we have Candyman 2, or Candyman Farewell to the Flesh. Not very good. I was so high on Candyman. A while back we did it on the podcast, all three of them, and I was so high on Candyman, and watching Candyman 2 right after the first Candyman is just very disappointing, because it's such a step down. And that sucks, because Candyman was a great story. You know, I want to give this one another shot when I eventually pick up the Scream Factory release. Maybe listen to the commentary or something. Try to find another way to like it. I mean, it was okay. It was okay. It was just very disappointing coming from the first film. And then finally, for this part in the video series, we have Candyman 3, Day of the Dead, which is even another huge step down, man. Ugh, I don't know what they was thinking. This is a very average film, maybe even below average. Just pisses me off. But the Candyman series is very weird, because the first film was put out by TriStar on DVD. The second film, of course, MGM. We know that because Scream Factory released it. And the third film was put out by Artisan, which, if I'm not mistaken, Artisan is now owned by Lionsgate, and I think TriStar might also be owned by Lionsgate, so it might actually not be, though. So the rights are kind of all over the place, and that's kind of why we haven't seen a remake or another sequel to the Candyman film. So hopefully they get that sorted out one day, and maybe we could see Tony Todd back on, you know, playing Candyman again. But that's it for this time, guys. My throat is really bugging me in this video, and you know, I'm thirsty as hell, so my apologies for my terrible speaking. Peace out, guys.